something very, very exciting is about to happen. Because we have decided that it is time to take the Tow and Fert for its maiden voyage. I mean, it probably looks quite nice out there. It is dry, very dry actually, quite dry. It is not overly warm, but that's good because we don't want it too hot for Tow and Ferting, because when you put that nitrogen on the leaf of the plant, if it's hot, it will scorch it. So it being cool, but being dry is kind of ideal. If you're gonna do some Tow and Ferting in the summertime, you really need to do it either first thing in the morning before it gets hot, or you gotta do it last thing at night before it gets cold, so that you don't scorch the plant. But this time of year, you can kind of go all day, which is great, because this time of year is when we really want to get on. We're in full livestock farmer mode too, obviously, because we've got the loader on. I do, however, need to swap out the hitch and put the little dome thing on the roof. One of these tractors around this yard has got an extra pin in it because the one out of that tractor is missing. Drives me mad. Every tractor should have its own pin. Let's see if there's one in here, or two in here. I can never remember which side the toolbox is. Here we go. What have we got? Here's one. Have you got two in your box? No. Where's the other one then? Maybe the 6410's got two in it. Actually, it was on the 6410 last time when we put it over in that shed over there. So maybe that girl's got two in her and we need to bring one and put in the 66 now because I've just stole that one. Fun and games this is. Here we go. Lovely. Let's lift her up. Right, what do we need to do? Oh, it's been a while. Wind you up. Turn you round. Control box in the cab. You go up there. Oh, I need to suck it in. Well, you got a bit of a shake then, didn't you, girl? Now what do we need? Big pipe goes in the big hole. Big pipe into there. Little pipes. That one's the flow for the pump, and then this one, or these two, should be the booms. But I don't know which way round they go yet. We'll have to work that out. Okay, ready. The little adapter saw needs to go in here. So we know it is. Happy days. Oh, lock you up. Okay, so we are ready to go and fill her up. I do need to work out which way round is boom opening and boom closing, and then I need to mark up the pipes so that we always get the right one in the bottom, because there's nothing more infuriating than getting to the field and then opening your booms or just doing anything and you've got the pipes in the wrong way around. Right, let's try it out. We've got her in this one, so back should be open. Oh, look at that. What a guess. And close. Right, let's mark her up. At the back of here, we have this tub. These mineral tubs we use, and this one is full of cable ties, and we've got some colourful ones in here too. So I think we'll go for red. We'll mark booms in a red. Put you back in there. Shut the lid. Okay, so booms is this one. So we need to put a cable tie around there. And let's put it, this part here, shall we? Or should we put it there? Put it here. And then it should not come off. Happy days. Okay, now we can go and fill her up with some water. This is the control box. It's literally just like an on-off flick switch. It's so simple, it's ridiculous. But I do need to put a little ram mount on the back of it so that we can put it on where that Tanko wrapper box is. Don't tell anyone about that Tanko wrapper as well. It's still here. I'm hoping they forgot about it because I love that wrapper and can't justify buying one, but I really hope that they just leave it here for a bit. At least till, let's say July, so we can get most of our silaging done. One thing I've not done either is the maths on the app, because I need to do that before we fill it up with water, because then we can actually work out how much water we need for the amount of nitrogen we're going to put on, for the forward speed we're going to have, and so on and so forth. We are just going to put straight nitrogen on because I'm yet to get any Epsom salts or humates, and I'll explain a little bit about that once we've filled up. But we're just going to put straight N on, just a small amount, just to hopefully get things moving. What the hell's going on down here? There's a bale of straw in the middle of the track, and I have absolutely no idea why or where it's come from. That's gonna be one for Dad, I imagine. One thing I do have to do is I need to get my head around the new app, because Tow and Fert have got this new fangled app, which is different to the old one. It's kind of, it works in the same way, but this is way fancier. So I need to try and work it out. I think we're gonna aim for about 8 hectares on a tank. So it's a 1200, 8 hectares would be about 20 acres. And I don't know what my target speed wants to be. Like maybe 15k? What's 15k in English? Miles per hour. Okay, it's not on there. That's not helpful. 5 miles per hour is 8k. So 15k would be about 10 miles per hour-ish. We need to add a product. Ooh, we're just going to go with ammonium nitrate. No, it's urea. We want urea, don't we? So let's go urea. Granular. I love how they have the Irish stuff. Everything in Ireland is different. Yes, add to mix. So we've got urea, and we're putting on about, I think about 15 is probably going to be nice just to get things moving. Okay, so it tells me, oh, this is great. Look, so we've got 15 kilometers an hour, 16 minutes to spray a full tank. With the P40 nozzles in, which I think is what we've got in. We might have the P30s, which I don't know how I can change that, but maybe we can work that out. Spray width, it says 20 meters. I think we want to bring that down to about 17 meters. Is that right? No, because I want 15 kilograms of N per hectare. Have I cocked this up? Okay, so that's a bit better. I've worked it out now. So we've got 15 kilograms of N, which is actually about 32 kilograms of product. So we need 1,046 litres of water and then 256 kilograms of urea, which should then give us 15 kilograms of nitrogen, because it's 46% nitrogen to the hectare. I might be making a really bad job of selling a Tow and Fert. Actually, thinking about it, adding in the amount of product you want, not the amount of nitrogen, makes a lot of sense, because not every single product's got nitrogen in it. So if you were adding something like humates, you'd add it in at X amount of kilograms per hectare. It would just be the amount of the product. Okay, so we want 1,046 litre of water, which is obviously 1,046 kilograms. I'm gonna unclip the pipe and leave it down here. One thing on the 1200, the pipe isn't quite so handy to get at and put that on and off as it is on the 1000. Oh God, there's water coming out. I'm starting to question my choices. Am I done the right thing? Okay, and this is to go on here. That's the filter. You need to go into the water. Right, let's do this. I do hope I put that on the right one. I think that's the one we had it on, but I'm starting to doubt myself. We'll soon find out, won't we, when the water starts going the wrong way. Okay, it's just pumping. Something's happening. Water's going the wrong way. Okay, disaster averted. It was my fault. I hadn't put the levers right. Water's going up again now. Peter had a great idea, which was to get another one of these pipes made up, so we can leave like one here and one on the machine for if we ever just want the machine for using it as a volume washer or to use elsewhere when we're out, or if we ever get round to actually putting up the rainwater harvesting that we've been going on about for years and we haven't done anything about. But you can get it on a capital grant, but Labour have been busy labouring and have stopped all the grant schemes, so when they come back on, hopefully we'll be able to do that, and we can have a pipe at the yard and one on the machine. That'd make a lot more sense. Dad's been super busy down here as well. He's been tidying up this brook line because all the bushes had all overgrown, and he's been pulling them out, so he's had a good clean up. One thing we do need with a Tow and Fert is one of these bag spiker jobbies, which looks like a torture device from the medieval times, but what you do is put this on the floor, because in Britain we have proper bags of fertilizer, 600 kilos, not those little ones that you get in Ireland. We don't want a full bag, so we put this on the floor and we stab the bag on top, and then we can open and close it. This one, oh, that squeak went right through me. This one's a Tow and Fert branded one. Look at that, Tow and Fert, stainless steel as well, so this thing won't rust. This is built to last, this is. So this is a hell of a bit of kit. So we need that so that we can run half a bag of nitrogen in at a time, or we can just at least split bags. So we need one of those. Best thing is not to put it behind your wheel, because if you back over it, that is not going to do you much good, because that is pretty sharp. I think, considering how well that's built, the wheel is going to come off worse. Okay, moment of truth, but before we head off, we need to make sure we do a few pre-spreading checks. Peter said it's super important that it's level, because obviously if it's tilting one way or the other, the booms are going to spray either up in the air or down at the ground. So we need to make sure it's level, which it looks pretty good. Check the booms out as well. They are freezing cold. Look, see that frost? That's because when, I've said this before, but when you dissolve urea in water, it's an exothermic reaction. So it pulls heat from the water, so it just freezes everything up. So that water is so much colder now than it was before we put the nitrogen in, which is just cool. I mean, science is cool, eh? We've also put a bit of molasses in there, so we've just got straight N and molasses. The molasses is in there for a simple sugar, so it's a simple carbon source. We could use humates, but haven't got any at the minute, waiting on some to turn up. Humates is more of a complex carbon source, but molasses is fine. It's a simple carbon. It'll get the biology working in the soil. So agitator is tight, spray booms are on, and that one is just the circulation, that is on. I think we're there or thereabouts. Okay, so let's do it. Moment of truth. Let's set her off on a maiden voyage. Okay, booms out. Beauty. Oh, what a honey. Revs on, some revs on. I'm going to D3 we'll start off with. Hopefully we're somewhere there or thereabouts. Let's give it a go. Get my little trusty box. Let's flicker on. Oh, now we're farming. Yeah, boy. Okay, so I know the Tow and Fert is exciting. I'm going to stick the drone up so you can watch it go. But there's also, next door, a hell of a piece of kit. Now, I'm not a kit fan. I keep telling you, I'm not a kit fan. But this thing, you don't see many of these. Wow. Just check this out. So I mentioned earlier that we're just putting on straight nitrogen and then a little bit of molasses just as a simple sugar. The reason for that is, firstly, we haven't got any Epsom salts yet and we haven't got any humates yet, and I want to get a bit of nitrogen on. But also, we don't necessarily need to be putting in humates on every single pass. But what we are going to try and do is use at least between 2.5 and 5 kilograms of humates per every hectare on the farm every year, because there's quite a lot of science that says continued use of humates after about 3 years has a massive improvement in soil function. So if we can keep putting them in, but they don't want to be put in all at once, they need to be kind of trickled in over multiple applications. If we can do that, we're going to have a big improvement in our soil. Secondly, Epsom salts. Epsom salts we're going to use on grazing land as a form of sulfur, because Epsom salts is magnesium sulfate. On silage land, we're going to need to use a sulfur nitrogen, like an ammonium sulfate, because we need more sulfur than what we can get from Epsom salt. But we're going to put about 2 to 4 kilos of Epsom salts for every hectare on grazing land, just to help improve nitrogen utilization. It'll make the plants greener. If they're greener, they'll photosynthesize better. So you just get a general improvement. You get better utilization of N, but then you also get better photosynthesis. So you get sort of, it's a win-win really. Oh, check this out too. Look at this, I found another balloon. That's actually number 31 because we've got a couple more back in the yard that I've not even shown yet. So we're at 31, insane. So we're just spreading here on some herbal lays. These are herbal lays that we mowed back in the autumn, you might remember. So they've got a decent piece of regrowth on them. There's quite a nice little leaf there. There's a bit of clover you can see. We've got some plantain, we've got the grasses. So the idea is this little bit of N will just kick things into gear, get it moving, and then we can come across with some cattle, some young stock or something, utilize that quality grazing, and then that'll help stimulate everything else. So this clover, for example, clover or any legume will release its nitrogen from a traumatic event. So a grazing, a mowing, some sort of harvest if it's like an oilseed rape or something like that, or desiccation. And then once it's released it, it will utilize it to regrow if it can regrow. Obviously, if it's been killed with Roundup, it can't regrow. But what doesn't get used is then available for the plants around it. So that's where you fix so much nitrogen, but that won't happen until you've grazed it or until it's, you know, had some sort of mow or whatever. So you probably don't get a huge amount of response from any kind of legume until mid-May. So this nitrogen will just get things moving, get things boosted, get a good cover on here, and then we can come across some cows. I always find this mad interesting though, because that's all been just like mowed, and this here was where a muck heap was. Look how much longer the grass is from the residual nitrogen that's in the soil. Mental. And actually this bit went in the worst part of the field. It was rough when it went in, but look at it. So we're gonna start out fairly steady with the Tow and Fert, because I know this is our machine and I know we pushed the demo pretty hard, giving it the lime and various different things that we threw in there. But with our machine, like now we want to try and find our feet and build into some sort of a plan really going forward. So we're going to just start with this nitrogen. We're going to start with simple mixes, Epsom salts, humates, as I said, all those simple things, before we start going a bit nuts and putting in seaweed extracts, sea salt, milk powders and fish.
At 2 o'clock I'll have fish,
gypsum, etc, etc, etc. Like we could go nuts with it, and we will eventually, but we just want to kind of find our feet, get to tune with it, work it into the system, and then build. And then I think we're going to start and see some big improvements in soil function, grass growth, cow health, everything off the back of it. I'm really excited for where we're going to go going forward, and especially the amount less of everything we're going to use, so less nitrogen because of the efficiency and everything else. Given what Labour have just done with pulling SFI, we're all right because our SFI agreement's sort of 9 months in and it's been agreed and we're already going, so they're going to stand that. But where we go from here, I don't know. We need to make as much money as possible, so everything we can do to drive profit is going to be a good thing.